Hi, this is Pastor Lou, and I do hope you're well. You know the expression, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail? Well, similar to that, every time I run across the verse of the day, I think, wow, that's really relevant to what we're going through now. And today is no different. Today's verse, 1 Peter 1:17, at the end of it, he says, live in reverent fear during the time of your exile. And I read that and I thought, whoa, it's like he's writing to us today. And it seems like it. It's tempting to think of this as Peter's talking to these people in the first century and saying, don't worry, your time on earth is temporary, you're heaven bound. But that's not really what's going on here. Peter is actually looking backward at one point and comparing their situation as Christians living in a world that is not kind to them, and comparing that to the time of Israel when the people were in slavery in Egypt. Well, there are also parallels to what we're at right now because of our situation. And let me just point out three things that make it particularly relevant and helpful to us in our situation. First of all, the fact that we are in a weird situation too really hits the nail squarely on the head. The second thing that I want to point out is that when we are in this weird situation, whenever we're in any weird situation, something is bound to happen to our attitude, to our outlook, to our faith, to our optimism, to our hope. And we are in that situation now. It's easy to get lost in pessimism and to lose hope. And something happens to our logistics. We have to do things differently, and we just are changed on the inside. But the third thing that really brings this home to us is that we are encouraged to continue to live our lives in reverence to the presence of God. Sure, our attitudes will be tested. Our emotions might be pushed to the brink of exploding. I've even heard that some families become a little crabby toward one another in this weird time we find ourselves in, where all we see are the same people day after day. Surely that doesn't happen in your house, does it? But in spite of that, we are encouraged to live our lives aware of the awesome presence of God among us. Continue to behave in spite of what your attitude might be. Behave in a way that shows reverence to God in all that you do. So let me leave you with a question then. How can you conduct your life? What can you do during this weird time that reflects reverence for God?